Ready, hot!
1 week after things went south in Norman, as Oklahoma's 39-game home winning streak was snapped in a shocking loss to Texas Tech, the Sooners headed north to Manhattan, Kansas, to take on the undefeated Wildcats and Bob Stoops' mentor, Bill Snyder, who had once again built Kansas State into a dangerous purple power. Bob and Bill having a few laughs and catching up before the game on a beautiful day in the Little Apple. Big Game Bob trying to avoid losing 2 straight conference games the first time in his tenure as the head man of the Sooners. Passionate Purple faithful fully expected their Wildcats to improve to 8-0. The game started off on a horrible note for the Sooners, as starting running back Dominique Whaley was rolled up on from behind while blocking on the very first play from scrimmage. The junior is done for the season with a fractured ankle. With Whaley out, OU drove down the field though, 69 yards for the touchdown, gaining all but 2 of those yards through the air. Ryan Broyles' catch and somersault into the end zone was good for 17, but the senior was called out at the 1 upon further review. No worries, mate. Blake Bell comes in, and the redshirt freshman runs in untouched for the score from 1 yard out. OU led 7-0 less than 3 minutes in. Kansas State ran 3 plays for negative 5 yards and punted the ball. OU drove 77 yards in 8 plays and capped the drive with a pretty catch by 6'4" senior DeJuan Miller, who goes up and gets it and manages to get a foot down. OU leads 14-0 8 minutes in. Miller had 3 catches for 42 yards. That's when Kansas State answered in resounding fashion, scoring 17 unanswered points in 10 minutes to take the lead. The most impressive Wildcats touchdown being this 42-yard run by quarterback Colin Klein. 6'5", 226-pound junior bounced off a few would-be tacklers and broke free for the score. Snyder Stadium was rocking, but the Sooners were determined to respond, and that response was immediate, as OU drove 62 yards in only 4 plays and 1 minute and 24 seconds, as Jazz Reynolds made the outstanding juggling catch between 2 K-State defenders for the 25-yard gain. Then, Jazz finishes off the drive by collecting the 18-yard play-action pass from Landry Jones for the touchdown. He's ruled to have possession of the ball when he crosses the plane, and OU had regained the lead, 20-17. Michael Honeycutt's extra point was blocked. OU took advantage of a K-State fumble as Honeycutt hit a 53-yard field goal as time expired in the first half. OU held the slim 23-17 lead. But in the second half, the Sooners were unstoppable on both sides of the ball. First, it was Ryan Broyles catching the Landry Jones pass on the sideline and tight-roping his way in for the 29-yard score. OU led 30-17. Broyles had another ridiculous day with 14 catches for 171 yards, and the score. The senior breaks another record, this one for Big 12 career receiving yards. Broyles now has 4,499. OSU's Rashawn Woods had held the record with 4,414. Next Sooners possession now, Jazz Reynolds makes the sick one-handed snag of the Landry Jones bullet for an 8-yard score. The 6'2" sophomore had 3 catches for 51 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's the first multiple TD game of his career. OU led 37-17 with about 4.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 3 minutes later, the next Sooners possession covers 62 yards in only 50 seconds and ends with this 31-yard juke and jolt run by sophomore running back Roy Finch. Suddenly it's 44-17, and we've got a minute and a half left in the third quarter. Finch ran 9 times for 73 yards and caught 7 passes for 69 yards. You get the idea. OU scored on 5 straight possessions on the way to a blowout, and the Crimson and Cream defense came up big as well. Contributing 7 sacks on the day, the Sooners allow only 32 total yards to the Wildcats in the second half, and only 6 of those came on the ground. OU holds Kansas State to 240 total yards for the game. Afterward, the man who taught Bob Stoops much of what he knows thanked the Sooners coach for calling off the Dogs late. Landry Jones, who sat much of the fourth quarter, set a new school record by passing for 505 yards. He also became the Sooners' all-time leader in touchdown passes. His 5 on Saturday brought his total to 90 and moved him past Sam Bradford, who held the previous mark with 88. Afterwards, the Sooners talked about responding to adversity.
You know, the first half, listen, we knew, and that's what the best part of said to the players, you know, Coach Snyder and these guys have done an amazing job, and they're a really good football team. So we knew coming in they're going to make their plays. When they do, we have to answer back, get, settled down and be able to respond. So, and we did that. So they made some good plays in the first half. We did as well. And then in the second half, really the third quarter, we really, with the wind, really made a difference. The offense kept, scoring, and then the defense kept getting a lot of, I don't know how many 3 and outs. It seemed like there was a lot. We had good field position the whole time, and then we just really, then the score becomes, all of a sudden it takes them out of their game a little bit, and our guys really just, played a great second half.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot different talking about things and actually coming out and doing it, and so tonight, I mean, we had player meetings, we did all that sort of stuff, but if you don't come out and play the way we do, we get beat, so we just put a whole game together, and it's just refreshing to actually do that.
We just kept fighting, last week, it's a done deal. We didn't give it all we had, obviously. This game, second half, we really came out, big stop, and it got us going. Guys really bought in this week. We had a great game plan. Guys were really ready to play. We didn't ever give up on ourselves.
Yeah, our backs are against the wall. We lost last week. If you lose another one, we're going to be out for Big 12 hopes, national championship hopes. Everything will be out if you lose this game. So it was just everything on the line this week.
I go into every game expecting the unexpected. I just come in the game knowing that I have to make plays no matter what. And when Don went down, I just had to. It's like the eye of the tiger. I had to become a tiger out there and just get it. So
I think there's a lot of factors that go into it, but I think the psyche again is so undervalued, and I think we came in with a sense of desperation, and I think we had in all phases prepared and came out like our hair was on fire, and again understood that you have to be willing to fight for every inch.
I think when we put a complete ball game together, offense, defense, we're clicking. We're a very tough team to watch, and we'll have a lot of people telling us how great we are, jumping back on the bandwagon. Defense only gave up 200 yards. Offense looked like that video game offense back again. But last week we were a bunch of jokes. So the main thing for us is not listening to what anybody says. We know what we're capable of, and I just stress to the fans, the goals haven't changed. Everybody keeps saying, okay, y'all can still win a Big 12 championship. That's not the goal. Of course, that's part of the process, but we want to win a national championship.
So only 7 days after playing their worst game of the season, the Sooners put together probably their most complete game of the season in a complete decimation of Kansas State. Oklahoma gained 690 yards, over 500 in the air. Now the Sooners return home to try to start a new winning streak at Owen Field as Texas A&M comes to town on Saturday. Reporting from Bill Snyder Family Stadium in Manhattan, Kansas, Damon Fontenot, News OK Sports.